So what's up guys, welcome back to the reaction series. We have been slacking on this because we came up with a new episode, right? So the transformation series has been a long process, right? But nevertheless, we are back and today we are in Japan, right? We're going to see a Japan house. Kogenki desu ka? Iherng desu. Okay, let's start with the video. This looks like the new bookstore in Bukit Jalil. Happy on my own. Everything in slow-mo looks so good, right? I wonder how I look like. I don't know, like, will I look that good in slow-mo? I don't know, well, whatever. Along. From the main door, right, you can look at the top of the door. You see that piping just goes through the... In Malaysia, you don't see that already, you know. This is like a very old structure.
Is that a fan pipe or
I have no clue. So it might be for water, it might be for sewerage, it might be for piping. I don't think it's sewerage lah. Then you look at the columns and right at the top. It's huge. And we spoke about it on the previous episodes. These like old structures is still beams and columns that are ultra thick. Yeah. And everything is so open. Like how do you... Okay, like if you make bento or you make sashimis, it's fine. If you... Oh my god, you do ikan goreng kunyit, habis ah. Oh the hosts are so good looking. I'm sorry. Like you look at the wall behind. We kind of went through this before on the mall in Cheras, the Eco Cheras Mall. Yeah, we had this kind of texture at the car park, but the whole market was bashing them. Like a lot of car parks in Malaysia, the residents when they go in, you can't even put paint. You want to cut costs until like that. But you see how people do it. I guess it's culture, right?
Is this the industrial?
This is the rawness, the raw approach to things.
Okay.
Yeah, then you look at the beams again. You see the beams on top is that thick. So the different construction method, as we spoke before. So now we have sheer walls on apartments. So we have columnless, beamless kind of situation going on. This one is all beams. But it looks so good. You see like how the grayness matches with the
lighting.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, the lighting. And then you have all the timber. It's so heavy timber. If you're a person with OCD, right? Oh my god. Okay lah, because it's dark, I think you don't see dust. But I really like how it integrates. That you look at the cupboard at the side, it integrates with the column. Like this kind of customization, carpentries, right? Ooh.
フリーランスでエディターと、ライターをやっております。まもなく7年になります。2015年の夏に入居しました。前の持ち主がこんな風に住んでたんだなっていうお話もちょっといろいろ聞けたので。
Does this kind of cat have a lot of fur drops? And it's open wardrobe.
So imagine the bowls you take to makan.
Oh, ini ada rasa kucing ni. Kucing desu.
そこも床剥がし、天井剥がし、コンクリの梁と壁だけにして。
So they removed the ceiling and the floor to just add that little 300. So unfortunately in Malaysia our standard increased already. So 3 meters becomes the norm. But then in a lot of countries it's not. 2.6, 2.8 is the norm. The height. Not minimum, it's the height that we get. So older apartments in Malaysia is also like 2.8 meters. And 2.8 now you give to a modern buyer, right? Yeah, you see this developer try to cut costs. And then last time people heavily into plaster ceiling, then lagi worse. But now the trend is no plaster ceiling. Not because it's not practical, but it saves costs. You see all the watermarks, all the honeycombs.
Does this mean you can't tell if it's leaking? Doesn't matter.
No, now directly you know where it's leaking.
Blend together so deco punya.
Because last time we look into, oh, got mold, right, on the plaster ceiling, the plaster, then got, oh, they're leaking. Now it's directly to your plate. Oh.
ない昭和のなんて古き良きマンションって感じのところだったんです。
The lighting makes everything so good. And you can see the little hantu at the top, at the fan.
絵本って本当によく読むんですか？すごい数ありますもんね。
買っちゃうよね。
So they use the cupboard as the partition between spaces. So that's really smart. But then, like, because she's a writer, that's why the amount of books, right? I bought a book last week. It took me a month. And it's like, it's so difficult to read it now.
Maybe that's for your kid.
Yeah. Oh.
本ってやっぱりこうどちらかというと有機的なものだから、で私にとってはまあ人間と同じで割と喋りかけてくるものだから、なんか冷たくはなんないな。
Imagine spring cleaning.
It's been covered.
Oh, yo, my god. I think now it looks good really because of the light only. Then you see what's weird, right? The piping right at the left, next to the water filter. Oh, directly punching out, boom. Then the vent directly punching out to the hood. You see that's the exhaust fan from the main door. So you cook halfway, you fry ikan kunyit. Then outside straight away ikan kunyit already.
ちょうど家を探していて、新築のマンションも見たんですね。で、なんかファミリー向けで女一匹住もうと思ってるんだけど、なんか
Yeah, it's so weird, man, the pipes.
Behind the pipe got a plug point.
Yeah, for the water filter. How would Malaysian do it is we will build a wall with it, then we actually cover it. And the problem with old buildings is because the concrete members are so thick, it's very hard to puncture the pipings through them. So like the walls at the entrance just now above the door, you can still puncture if it's still a wall. But even if it's a column or a beam, right? Ooh. But you see the lubang at the wall? Those are a result of precasting. When you precast wall, so they have the mold that's very nice, and not our one, the papan one. So they want to have a mold, then they actually tie the two papan together, sandwich, then they pour concrete in. That's why they look damn nice. So their casting process, right, it's way nicer than ours.
Japanese technology.
Because if you know that it's going to be the end surface, you'll put more attention. But ours, we got another skim coating lah, plastering lah, paint lah. Then only we put the Venetian plaster lah. Then we put wallpaper lah. Then it doesn't matter already. The surface chin chai, as long as it's standing, then can already. So that's the difference in furnishings lah.
個室そんなにいらないなって思っていて、なんか予算と間取りがどうもしっくりこないなって。
The cat feels like the focus of the video. Tak nampak pun unit.
この人と一緒になんか面白いものを作ってもらったらいいんじゃないかっていうのがその長年の友人であるの、建築家だったんです。
There's one thing I observed. So like the guy that DIY'd the video, right? So like he created a space where he can be inspired by living in it. Not like for me, and go there and sleep. Like this one is so well decorated. That's when you come in like to a guest. Oh, this is like individual person to me. The books or the paintings, my story or whatever. If I'm staying alone, right? Do I really need it? That's the weird one. So like this one is like a sales gallery. You have so much pride in your living space, right? I think that's lacking though in Malaysia. Like you don't have as much guests that comes in.
Question. The plug point is protruding out.
Yeah, so the pipe is the where you lay. It's laid on top of the surface instead of built in. So what Malaysians usually practice is we hack into the brick wall,
And then we cement it back.
then we cement it back. But then if it's not functioning, then we need to open it up again.
Old houses use the PVC one, right?
Old houses use steel, like galvanized like that also. So the next one is the plastic PVCs. Yeah. So until now we still use one like for air cons, right?
Yeah, but I remember I moved in, I just complained, this is damn
Ugly. So it's like between practicality and aesthetic law. Like now you don't see any joints, right? You don't see any wirings, right? But when your light is not working or your water piping is leaking, right? Then all the hacking lor. Then like you, why hack? Like you, why they don't think of practicality, meh? Everybody want everything lah. Like the rainwater downpipe, for example, at the car porch, always people seal it up, or you rather leave it exposed with a chain and all. Yeah, lor. So some people like it, maybe don't like lor. But for apartment, you don't really get a choice lah now. And this is, I think it's, although aesthetically not as nice, but it's practical lor. Would you go for extreme rawness like this? So this is a phase where they call it structural honesty. They let you see everything in the house originally. So like they don't use brick because brick laying, workmanship is very expensive. And for us, we still use a lot of brick because labor is cheap, but not anymore now after COVID.
でリフォームで工夫したのはその人と面白いものを作ろうってコミュニケーションをずっとしてきたの
Oh,
が
it's
じゃないかなと
movable.
思います。そんな中で、編集者って仕事道具で何使うって言ってまあパソコンとかじゃなくて昔ながらだと原稿用紙かなって言って
Technically, you only need this space. Why you need all the books for? Of course, for inspiration and ideas and all, right? Yeah. So so that's the argument of like, if you have budget, you are a successful freelance writer, then you get to say this lah. But if you're a striving person who's just trying to make ends meet, right? Technically, you just need a table.
本当だ。これも割とうちでしょ。
本当ですね。
Also, when you look into the kitchen, right, the cabinets are minimal. Yeah, not even open. Like, where do you store your stuff on the shelf lah? Like our kitchen, bottom, top, full, 9 feet, 6 feet at least, right? Nothing on it. You see, beside the fridge, that's empty. On top of the hood, cooking side, empty. They hang everything. Imagine like if it's a Malaysian house, right? There won't be the island. It's either like a C or an L, or a U. Then there will be the breakfast counter. So in the breakfast counter kind of set in to your basin. Not more practical, man. But then they have everything exposed, right? Everything exposed means everything gets dirty. My humble approach to things. Hey, people freelance, maybe successful one, and then write complain, come who is this YouTuber?
そういうなんかヒントみたいなのをなんか見つけて
はいはいはい。
写メしてこう実家に送ったり。
一緒じゃないですか。
But I like the backsplash though. That tiling. Coming to that, right, why we tile everything is because it's easy for cleaning. Imagine you need to clean the concrete wall. By the time you wipe the wall, right, I think the cloth torn already. It's so rough. Right?
本棚を全部の壁に作ってたんだけど、まあこれじゃあここの
So you look into the aircon piping. That's worse than what we have here in Malaysia. It's so much thicker. And the plug point on the top. Then you see the vent or the gas pipe or whatsoever pipe again, the conduits, everything. And one thing to take notice is also they hire an architect to do the design. Wow. We all hire ID designer is already, wow, atas already. You got an eye, wow.
この先すごいなんかでかい剥製が欲しくて置きたいとか万が一自分が思ったらどこにも置けないからなんかそういうまだ未完成のスペースっていう
You put a partition in between, then you put a window. Yeah, so like I think that's the aircon, the aircon space there. So I think that's a working space. Then this side will be the bedroom. Then like you have some hollow ones with it. Then why the window? Yeah, it looks good on frame lah. Then you laugh, ha ha.
このスペースは
ここは一応インナーテラス
Inner
って言ったり
terrace.
してるんですけれど、私の完全に仕事場に今はなってます。
すごい素敵。なんかサンルームみたいな感じです
でね、ここでこうやって飲んだり
They have a sunroom. I think because it's of its four seasons, right? Then like the timber floor makes sense, the warm material makes sense. Like sitting next to the window makes sense. To us, we on aircon, teet.
いい感じ
Then like what we do in the makeover, guys, we have this feature light at the table, right? Suddenly it becomes the focus. Then like the column behind, you have the light shooting on it, right? Suddenly it becomes, wow, damn nice. All textures all come out. In Malaysia, car park, you see, yeah.
うちも一人暮らしだったんで、ダイニングテーブルがこのちっちゃいやつが前の家だというか、もう最初の家からあって、でこれを捨てるのかどうしようかって言ってて。
Do you pay attention to the texture of the tables? Right? Do you? Like, I can work basically anywhere lah. But some people like, oh, the timber,
Like the weight of
the grains of the wood.
I do because my mouse needs to go on it.
There's a mouse pad.
If you want to go somewhere, bring around your bag, maybe mouse pad.
I guess that's my, like, in continuation of the pursuit for space, right? I think the material of furnitures plays a very big part. Like if it's stone, right, then on winter it wouldn't make sense. But if it's timber, then oh, okay lah. When it's hot, it's not as hot. When it's cold, it's not as cold.
私は割とこうなんか面白おかしく暮らせたらいいやっていう。
Yeah, man, you see?
being and
You got the chimes there. Wow. Why cabinet so important is because it looks complete lah. Right? We hide everything, close door. Hey, okay. Now everything exposed, right? Oh yo.
You have to susu.
I have to susun on yellow. Wow. But you look at the lights, right? Again, shooting on the beams, right? Suddenly it looks so nice. Lightings.
だから散らかってるんだけ
It's
ど。
okay to be a bit messy. This is messy, man. You haven't seen my room, oh.
なんか許してみたいな。
いいめっちゃいいわあ素敵
Okay lah, this may sound very wrong lah, but can she go in the door? Okay lah, okay. I'm sorry like okay, she is so skinny. Can she? Wow. She also find she find it difficult already ah.
これ築7年
Okay, let me guess. I think the door, like I used to design a door like this before, so I got questioned a lot by my lecturer. So every time you go into a door, let's say it's everything very big, you feel very big when you go into the room. But to go into a space that's a little bit more special, you go through the experience of going in, brings you down, let you have that humility before you go into the space. Japanese architecture applies this kind of thing a lot. So I'm not too sure whether that's the design intent of the architect or not.
you have humility before you put it in.
Yes, maybe you just like wind down.
Before you go into your room.
Yes. But this is stick away from the facade line. You have the inner terrace before you have the bedroom. Then like you partition here, but the rest is exposed. Again,
There's another door there.
yeah, but you can see the shelf is there, the window is there. You close it for privacy, then I don't understand. Wait.
できりのハイライトシーンがこの虹口につけるわあ面白い
That makes sense. Okay. Maybe that's for the cat.
Maybe that's what you can.
So this is a technique in architecture. We call it a space within a space. So when you have a very big apartment flat, right? So you create another box within that box. Then like after you create a shelf within, that suddenly creates that space. Yeah, like, you guys get it lah.
あの棚が
あのちっちゃい棚が
確かにホテルっぽい。
欲しくて、
うん、
あそこビジネスホテルって便利だなと思って
確かになんかちょっと置けますもんね。
And the partitions, right, works because it's a mixture between solid and void. Like just now the other wall, right? You got books, then suddenly got one window. And you know that composition, if you look at it as a plane, right, then it's wow, very nice. But only Japanese designers can do this.
寝室
室はね天井がちょっと低くなってて、
それもあえてですか？
そうなんかこれも建築家はなんか低い方が落ち着くでしょ。
Yes. So like one of the project that we went to, sometimes 3.3 seems to be the standard for luxury homes, but it becomes very grand. So like an architect called Frank Lloyd Wright, he created this movement where horizontal lines becomes the emphasis. So the height becomes a little bit more intimate, so you won't feel as pressured. So Japanese, of course, it makes it look more relaxing, but actually constraint of space lah. It's a very nice way to put it lah, like to me. Takkan if I got a 3.3 ceiling, I put a 600 plus ceiling just to feel relaxing, man.
かわいいここタイル。
ここタイルはそうキッチンとここで
The cameraman got no space already. But like your basin is there, right? All this jacket will get wet. Yeah. But one thing, like, you don't get the smell. And in cold weather, you don't get the smell as heavy. Yeah. Bro, you're everywhere, bro.
これが家庭内露天風呂。
お邪魔します。
はいどうぞ。
アヒルがいる。
アヒルはねそれ夫がなんかで持ってて捨てらんなくて持ってきちゃった。それね
部屋が見える。
そう工夫して作ってくれたドアなんだけどちょっと歪んじゃった。
You see, the ventilation concept is so different. Ours, the air needs to go out directly. The other one can go through inner spaces before go out directly. They rather have their enjoyment space to the facade line. Not weird and they don't maybe got a mechanical vent, I don't know, but it's an apartment, right?
これもだってトイレしながら
そうそう
本読めますもんね、こうやってね。
そうでお風呂このまま入ったり。
This is a bookstore, you know. This is not a house, you know.
スペースもなんかいいですね。
この蕎麦屋の小上がりというの
すごい落ち着く。やっぱ畳ってめっちゃいい。
You see, their tatami is really flat one, but in Malaysian restaurants, right, some of it is an elevated one. But then you can put down. There's a hole for you to put down your leg, because not everybody can sit like that. You know, they will cramp. And you see, they sit right in front of the column under the beam. For a lot of for us it's the bad feng shui lah, cannot lah. So sometimes feng shui, right, again, it's really like down to locality, rituals, beliefs and all.
家作るなら畳欲しい。
思いがけずうちに来たもん
I think this is a very good space. I'm thinking of my Bukit Jalil apartment, right, because there's no balcony. This looks a very good composition of space.
こういう感じで
なんかいい
こう
感じ
いう感じでご飯食べてる。
But you look at it, right, the columns is so big. And when you buy a property, let's say it's 1,000 square feet, right, columns itself maybe take like 3% to 5% of space.
本当だ、動くんだけど。
They're smart though.
そう手で出してる。あそこのあっちはタイルになってやっぱり。
So this is when we spoke before in previous episodes. How do you demarcate our space? They use different floor materials instead of. It's as good as you just put a carpet, then it's like a space on its own. And to a certain extent, to me, not important, but if you pursue quality of spaces, then
やっぱり、家って自分との向き合いなんですよね。
ああそうかもしれない。
なんか自分がどこが妥協できなくて、自分のライフスタイルって何が大事かを見極めることが、多分そこの作業につながってきますよね。
そうかも。
yeah, I agree though. To not pursue dream home that early or that young of an age, you don't know what you want. Like you might think you want a landed, then when you live on it, right, then the maintenance just kill you. Not the maintenance fees, the actual maintenance of the house. Then when you stay in a condo, then maybe it suits your lifestyle better until you mature further. Yeah. Wow. Suddenly so philosophical. Oof.
なんか そんな小説があったな。
本当ですか？
これだ、オルガ・トカルチュク、昼の家、夜の家。ね、最初の書き出し
Wow.
た。
She remembers which line from which book,
そこに住む人の一回り大きな。
A house is the bigger version of the person who lives there.
キッチンは自分が閉じこまらないキッチンにしてほしいっていうのを言ってて、家のどこからでもアクセスして、
Wow. This is either artsy or keliru.
Yeah.
It's so cluttered, but then some people say organized lah.
で人と喋ったり、なんかついでに
Organized mess. Wow.
できるキッチンっていうのを最初のテーマにしてて、そしたらまあ家の
Oh, the steel, full stainless steel, the island, right? That is the high spec of what people pursue right now.
Oh, is it?
So like we thought it's like timber, then people want solid surface, then now granite, then stones, right? Natural stones. The next level one is stainless steel.
This is what they use in commercial kitchens, right?
Yeah. And it needs to be solid, right? But this one is a bit thicker lah. But then if you have the, do you see the edge, right? When they temper, the edge is so sharp. Oof.
田中さんも作ってくれたんですか？
そう張り切ってる。
優しい。
まあほら、うちの家来ですから。
めっちゃ便利かもこれ。
そう。
これすごい楽なんですけど。
楽なんですよ。
And that is really lacking. Like, a lot of designers for kitchen do not cook themselves.
So they don't understand.
Yes, they don't understand kitchen layouts. But now, as apartments go smaller and smaller, there's nothing much to design anymore lah. But on a terrace house, right, like the one that we went to Heng's one, the terrace house, wow, that one's so big, right? You also don't know how to put, where's the basin, where's the right location for the hob on hood. Then like, okay, the cooker put here. I don't even know what is the appliances in the kitchen.
ますしね。
そうそうそう、ザルとかはね。ステンレスキッチンで、だけどこれ天板
Luckily, it's stainless steel. If I say something wrong, I would look so.
ステンレスじゃないので、
はい。
結構安く上がったっていう
Not that
正
expensive.
直なところあったと思います。
You look at their kitchen, right? It's so simple. It's just one rack here, one island there, got it. I just mount to the water and stove. Not like ours, we all got so many things to do. The kitchen top, bottom lah. Then we got,
は
天板を作ってもらって、天板とシンク作ってもらって、あとは
I know already. Because we compartmentalize our kitchen. Most of it is at the corner where as best we can seal it up. This one they want open. So this is like our dry kitchen like that. I'm now very curious. Don't they smell like the food now? Then the open cabinets, all the jackets, all your books, right? It's either choose one of book smell or potato smell lah. Right? Like how?
Then your cat also smell.
Oh, maybe the cat also smell like potato or book. How do they manage the smell?
They did it.
See, when the horse is so pretty, right? No matter what you shoot, it's so nice. Again, I'm sorry. I will work on this.
なんか変わっていくのが楽しいものなのか
You
な。
see the light, the shelf light, the shadow cast on the wall. Wow, so artsy. One.
There's no need for a TV.
Yeah, there's no TV. Yeah, with no TV, then the whole arrangement of the is so flexible already.
なんか食器とかもなん
Wow,
か
compliments, huh? Sitting next to the shoot so long already, finally. Wow!
夫が実家からもこう亡くなっちゃった実
Then that
家
slight touch of greens, right, actually adds up a lot of things. That's why, like in the makeover guys, we always add that. Although it's fake, but it looks damn good on picture, lah, right?
から持ってきた古いこ
You
う
just imagine the cups, like we always. there's a process of drying them before putting on the wooden shelf. I can imagine if this is in Malaysia, right? It's all kacat. It's all the cockroach all come out. Right? You.
面白おかしく暮らしたい。その言葉通り、世界に一つの
This looks like a showroom in like those Japanese furniture stores in like Lalaport, right?
家が出来上がるまでのストーリーも本当に楽しそうで、久保田さんと建築家さんがたくさん話し合い、楽しみながら作っていった日々が私にも伝わってきました。だからかな、家も笑ってる、そんな気がしました。
ありがとうございました。
ました
楽しかったです。また遊びに来ます。
また来てね。
ありがとうございます。
Wow. This is a room tour, not a house tour. Okay, wow. So, this reminds me of Arte Monchiara. It's like an office suite where you have an open layout. Then you build your dining, living, bedroom, toilet in it. Not like a usual apartment where everything is set. So that again, it goes back to the construction method where the columns and beams are so thick, right? It frees up partition so you can do whatever you want. And I like how they use that very limited daylight to their advantage. So they have the most productive spaces attached to it, which is the living, then the kind of, the workspace. Then the secondary daylight into the bedrooms. Then total no daylight as the toilet. So they partition in that way. And all partitions are timber with hollows, so it's not a solid. Imagine you just, one wall that is solid, right? It just kills the space really, which is our apartment in Malaysia. Straight away when it's a small space, right, then your living room is the two walls that you go in right under the door. If it's the sheer wall, it's 2.8 meters. Oh, that cast in stone really. There's nothing much you can do. So this one is a very different concept. It's like the office suites, like most of the office suites that we get in Malaysia. If it's a Soho, this is the layout that you get. It's very open type of thing. Then we also see the celebration of materials a lot. The timber makes so much sense. For us, we all tile. Everything tile. Not all timber. So if it's genuine hardwood, then it's not as prone. But genuine hardwood is very expensive. And for maintenance, right, you need to move everything, go and kasa again, then only put back your things. So the laminated timber one, I think some are waterproof to a certain extent already. And when you use different materials for space demarcation, so it's like when we go into toilet and go into bedroom, the texture and warmth of your footstep determines the space. But if you step in genuine wood before, right, oh, it's the best. Really damn nice. It's nothing like laminated timber, but mahal lah, banyak mahal. Then the ceiling height, the celebration of the wall at its raw state, I think we have not reached there. As much as we see like, wow, it looks so nice, right? But Malaysians, the amount of practicality thinking takes over instantly. Wow, your kitchen exposed open so nice. The smell water then how to put the storage there? Then that's why we have the design that we have today. I think the trend of not having the TV for living space, right? I think that's awesome. That frees up. Suddenly you don't need a compartment anymore. You can play around, right? Because anyway, like what the hell is a living space? A space is where you just comfortably hang out, read books. And the philosophy of having pride for the space, I think is also missing. Like personally, like I don't have that pride to invite friends over to my place. When I come and hang out, we hang out outside like mama, cafe, restaurants, mall. Very seldom I invite friends over to my house. I think you need to be in a certain level of abundance where your house is really well designed. You can have you rather have privacy. I can get drunk. I don't have to jaga my image, right? I can speak what I like instead of like having people next to me listening to my conversation. Then it makes sense. right? I think that is really lacking. We don't invite. Maybe I don't invite. Maybe a lot of people. Really, Done. Hypothesis stage. Again, not kesimpulan stage yet. Yeah. So I guess it's a very good exposure. A lot of things that we see determined by culture, determined by standard of living, determined by beliefs and all. Okay. Good episode, I guess. I hope you guys liked it. I learned a lot, and the host looked really good lah. Right? Wow, then like everything she do, drink coffee also looks so nice. So much to learn. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys like this one, and do comment below on the next reaction videos that we should do. I think we saw some Singaporeans one, we saw some mentions, and we will figure out how to do it lah. And thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one. Ciao.